Search of a man who murdered his girlfriend on the Virginian. Tonight at 10:30, following Action News at 10.
Good evening and welcome to Action News at 10. I'm Dick Knipfing. At Mount Holly, New Jersey tonight, a sniper holed up in a three-story house, killed 2 police officers and critically wounded a third before he was finally captured. The gunman, armed with a semi-automatic weapon, sprayed the area with bullets until 100 officers stormed the house and captured him about an hour and a half ago. He'd been holed up inside for more than 4 hours. Lawrence Cooker, in an unusual move, has turned state's evidence in the murder-for-hire killing of Mrs. Ann King of Albuquerque. Cooker and 28-year-old Billy Joe Armento allegedly killed Mrs. King after being paid for the job by her husband. The murder took place in Des Moines, Iowa, earlier this month while the Kings were visiting relatives there. Cooker's decision to talk came about because of his own wife. Judge Luther Glanton says she told Cooker to come clean, and that Cooker was not made any promises of leniency by the district attorney. During the hearing, which was closed to the public, Cooker told the judge he just went along for the ride on the killing and did not actually participate in the shooting. No details have been made public on what else he said. A search is underway in southwestern New Mexico tonight for 3 boys between 13 and 14 years of age who became separated from a church rafting party on the Gila River. Authorities have not released the names of the boys, but all are from the Silver City-Tyrone area down in Grant County. They were part of a 7-member party from the Mormon Church in Silver City that set out on Monday to float down the Gila to Red Rock on inner tube-type rafts. They failed to reach Red Rock as scheduled yesterday, and a search for them was begun today. The group leader and 3 boys were found safe in a cabin about 8 miles north of Red Rock. The other 3 boys became separated from the rest of the group earlier when the rafts were lost on the river. They have not been seen since. Also in the headlines tonight, President Ford will let us know tomorrow about that tax cut, bad trouble at Da Nang, a guilty verdict in Roswell, and an $11,000 utility bill in Clovis. Bill, what's up in sports?
Well, Jack Nicklaus is leading the pack in golf, and I have film of a famous baseball player who also is a country singer, or vice versa.
Country Charlie.
Country Charlie.
How about the weather, Howard?
Snow is still piling up in the southern part of the state, and while to the north it's clearer, it's also colder.
We'll also have a film report a little bit later on into the newscast on that blizzard up in Colorado.
Yes.
It's really been something else. We'll have all those stories and more when Action News at 10 continues.
This is Action News at 10 from TV7, New Mexico's #1 news source. Brought to you by Rich Ford Sales, where volume is the reason for their low prices. And the First National Bank in Albuquerque. At the First, people come first.
The year 1882. The city, Albuquerque. This was our first home. We were called Central Bank then. This was Albuquerque in the early 1900s. Construction was started on our main office. The year 1975. The city, Albuquerque. We're still building. This will be First Plaza, part of a new downtown Albuquerque, a new financial center for all your banking needs. But that's not all. First Plaza will have luxurious offices, fashion shopping, fine restaurants, outdoor dining, twin theaters, and a beautiful plaza, almost completely shielded from traffic. We don't just want to be bigger, we want Albuquerque to be better. The First National Bank in Albuquerque, where people come first.
The enthusiastic response to Coors Cash for Cans recycling program clearly shows that many Americans are concerned and are willing to work together for a better environment. Your increasing efforts in our Cash for Cans recycling program are appreciated by Adolph Coors Company and its distributors.
President Ford will address the nation at 5:30 tomorrow night, Mountain Daylight Time, to announce whether he will sign or veto the $25 billion tax cut approved by Congress earlier this week. Immediately after that speech, President and Mrs. Ford will fly to California for a 2-week working vacation. The situation in Da Nang, South Vietnam's second-largest city, is reported to be getting worse tonight. Hundreds of thousands of refugees packed into that city are panicking, and communist forces are pushing ever closer. One report says ranking South Vietnamese military commanders have already fled the city. The communists have concentrated their offensive so far in the northern part of the country, but ABC's Jim Giggins says there are indications the Mekong Delta may be the next target.
It appears there's to be no let-up on the demoralized retreating South Vietnamese troops. Saigon and Washington intelligence indicate that the Viet Cong, flushed from recent successes, are planning an imminent offensive here in the Mekong Delta. The Delta is one of the richest agricultural areas in the world. In fact, enough food could be grown here to feed all of Southeast Asia. Losing the Central Highlands was one thing. Without it, the Saigon government is strategically in a bad position. But if they were to lose the Delta, there is the chance that thousands of South Vietnamese would starve. There are those who contend that President Thieu was wise in withdrawing from the highlands so that he could solidify the defense of the country's rice bowl. Despite the seemingly idyllic setting of the Delta, the Viet Cong are everywhere here. Viet Cong infiltration in the Delta is higher than just about any region in the country. There are at least 3 Viet Cong divisions here, and more of their troops are on the way. The Saigon government has moved 2 more regiments into the Delta in anticipation of attack. If and when that attack comes, because of the stakes involved, it could be one of the most significant of the war. This is Jim Giggins, ABC News, My Tho, in the Mekong Delta.
The American airlift of food and supplies into Phnom Penh, Cambodia had to be called off today for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. 62 rounds of rebel rocket and artillery fire landed on the airport, but no planes were hit. The Israeli ambassador to the United States, Sincha Dimnitz, said in a TV interview today that it was not Israeli stubbornness that wrecked the latest peace mission of Secretary of State Kissinger 6 days ago. However, columnist Joseph Kraft reported today that Kissinger came within a hair of pulling off the agreement between Israel and Egypt, but that Israeli insistence on legal fine points eventually blocked it. The death toll has climbed now to 16 in the vicious early spring storm that has slashed through a 1,000-mile belt ranging from the central Rockies to the upper Midwest. Bud Fotopoulos has more.
National Guardsmen in several states are conducting helicopter searches for the dead and missing in the mammoth snowstorm that hit sections of the mid and northwest United States. Hundreds of motorists were reported stranded in their cars in Nebraska, where authorities said the storm was the worst in 20 years. A state of emergency was declared in South Dakota, where all state highways were closed and travel was virtually impossible. On the plains, cattle are reported freezing to death, their hides caked with ice. The early spring storm reached blizzard force in Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Minnesota, the Dakotas, and western Nebraska. Many deaths have been attributed to the storm, and the toll is certain to rise when rescue workers in snowplows and snowmobiles reach locations where people are known to be stranded. Bud Fotopoulos, ABC News.
Weatherman Morgan will have more on that later. Albuquerque and state police officers have found 2 stolen rifles in the Estancia Valley home of 2 former state consumer protection officials. Police served a warrant on the home of William and Charmaine Crawford and found inside the 2 rifles, which were reported stolen here in Bernalillo County last month. Crawford was the chief investigator for the Consumer Protection Division of the Attorney General's office under former Attorney General David Norvell. Mrs. Crawford is the former Charmaine Crown, and she was the head of the Consumer Protection Division. No arrests were made. The case remains under investigation tonight. A federal court jury at Roswell late this afternoon found Clovis attorney Dan Bazard guilty of conspiring to fix retail liquor prices in Clovis. The jury took 2.5 hours to reach its verdict. Bazard will be sentenced at a later date. This was his 2nd trial on the charge. His first ended in a mistrial here in Albuquerque last month. $11,000 in back utility bills can now be paid in Clovis because of early payment of a big federal grant. Frank Stanley has more.
Clovis City Commissioners announced last night that the Housing and Urban Renewal Agency in Dallas was expediting a $550,000 grant to the Grand Avenue Housing Project in Clovis to prevent the utilities from being turned off. Southern Union Gas Company and Southwestern Public Service had told the Housing Authority officials that the utilities would be shut off if the $11,000 in bills were not paid. HUD had previously approved the money for remodeling the project, but yesterday approved the use of part of the funds for paying utility bills. The Clovis Housing Authority administers over 100 low-income housing units, and the authority had claimed because many of the renters were out of work that they were unable to evict or collect the rent because of HUD regulations. Both of the utility firms gave the Housing Authority an additional 3 weeks to pay the bills. Frank Stanley, Action 7 News, Clovis.
Simeon Smith looks into a rip-off on your behalf tonight. That's after Bill Dobbeck for Jim Bojo with the sports. William?
Okay. Jack Nicklaus holds a 6-stroke lead over the nearest challenger going into the 3rd round of the Heritage Golf Classic. Nicklaus shot an incredible 8 under par 63 today at Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, for a 2-round total of 129. Tom Weiskopf is in 2nd place with a total of 135. That's 6 strokes off. The Golden Bear has never won the Heritage on the course he helped design, but he's making a strong bid at it this time. And UCLA is the favorite going into the semifinals of the NCAA basketball championships. It's really anybody's game, though, as Louisville and Kentucky both look strong. The semifinals start tomorrow afternoon in San Diego, California. The championship game will be played Monday night, and I'll be back in a minute with a lot more.
How would you like to stop worrying about the price of gas for about 6 months or more? Well, you can do just that and get the best deal available on a new or used car or truck at the same time. For a limited time, Rich Ford is giving 500 gallons of gas with the purchase of any new or used car or truck. This is a limited offer, so you must act right away. Think of it, 500 gallons of gas at no extra cost when you buy a new or used car or truck at Rich Ford. At average mileage, this means more than 6 months' worth of gas, and at a time when gasoline price increases are predicted. Why is Rich Ford making this offer now? It's all part of our Move 'em Out blockbuster sale, and nobody undersells Rich Ford, so you can make the best deal in the Southwest on 350 new cars, 300 new trucks, 90 used cars, and 85 used trucks, and you get 500 gallons of gas at no extra cost. Think of it, a lot of bargains and a lot of gas.
Fanny Brice was the greatest musical star of her time, and her success story will break your heart. Barbra Streisand is Fanny Brice. She had fame, she had talent, she had class, but most of all, she had Billy. James Caan is Billy Rose, the wonder boy of Broadway, and Fanny's best friend until they got married. Omar Sharif is Nicky Arnstein, the man who couldn't stay out of her life. Columbia Pictures presents Barbra Streisand, James Caan, Omar Sharif, Funny Lady.
You want to know what it's really like? Fantastic.
Funny Lady, rated PG.
Now playing at the Fox Winrock Theater.
Tomorrow night, Jose Napoles takes on Armando Muniz for the welterweight championship of the world. The fight will be shown on closed-circuit TV at the Civic. Tickets are available at the Civic box office. And tomorrow afternoon on Wide World of Sports, you can see the Muhammad Ali-Chuck Wepner fight. The bout, which went almost the full 15 rounds, can be seen at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon right here on Channel 7. And a singing star shows up at a baseball training camp. No stranger to New Mexico, country singer Charlie Pride shows he can play ball with the best of them.
Drove in 100 runs, but he's a Hall of Famer in his own right. Not baseball, but the world of country music. Yet Charlie takes pride in the fact he can play the game and once did back in 1961. But now it's just for fun during spring training.
You work out with these guys every day?
Yeah, this is my 5th day.
Is it more fun than singing and picking?
Well, it's a different type of fun. You know, this is what I did way before I started singing. I sang a lot.
Ever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder how does a man get to be this way.
You know, when I was playing baseball, I sang on the bus and this type of thing. In fact, some of my buddies used to say, well, you're getting $2 a day eat money. When I was playing the old Negro American Leagues, you get $2 a day eat money and $100 a month. If I could sing like you, I'd go into music. I said, well, I want to go into major leagues and break all the records up there. By the time I'm 35 and set new ones, by the time I'm 35, and if I can sing, I'll go into music then.
That's Charlie Pride. And in professional basketball, a busy night as the season starts to draw to a close. It was Boston over Chicago, Buffalo over Philadelphia, and New Orleans beat New York. Houston beat Cleveland tonight, and they're both tied now in the Central Division, trying to get into that playoff spot. It was Milwaukee over Portland, Seattle's leading Golden State, and that Los Angeles game is starting late. In the ABA, Kentucky was over Virginia and St. Louis over Indiana, and it was Memphis over New York. And at Lobo Field today, the UNM baseball team split a doubleheader. They lost the first game to Illinois 4-2, but as the day got warmer, so did the Lobo Bats. as they took the second game from South Dakota State 12-0. And this man is going to try his third and final pole vault of the day. His name is Dave Roberts, and he was formerly a track star at Rice University. He's a resident of Gainesville, Florida, and he was competing at the Florida Relays. What makes his jump so special is that he's going to try to break the world record of 18 feet 5 3/4 inches set by Bob Segrin. Does he make it? Yes, he does. Dave Robert sets a new world record in the pole vault, going 18 feet 6.5 inches.
18 feet
6.5 inches. He beat him by 3/4 of an inch.
So what was the old record? 18 feet 5 3/4 inches.
Yeah, I was never too good in math.
Me either. Thank you, Bill. Tonight, Simeon Smith, on your behalf, talks about a business that apparently specializes in ripping off its customers.
Tonight, on your behalf, we'll discuss several things. First of all, this is an advertisement that appeared less than 2 weeks ago in the Albuquerque Journal. It reads, "Fantastic business, never before offered, no competition." The ad goes on to say that with an investment of just $3,500, a person can earn a large income. The advertisement instructs readers to write International Whirlpool Corporation in Dallas, Texas. Don't do it. This company appears to be a ripoff, and to the credit of the Journal, this advertisement has been removed from the paper and will not appear again. However, it's possible that you might be contacted via mail or phone by International Whirlpool Corporation, which incidentally has no affiliation with the makers of Whirlpool appliances. Here's the pitch you might receive. A salesman shows up and says for your investment, you will receive 10 vending machines with a percentage of the profits from each sale. He promises you prime locations. However, if you are victimized like hundreds of others, your prime locations will turn out to be in the back of a filling station or some other place that's anything but a prime area. Checking with the Better Business Bureau, I learned that millions of dollars are being soaked out of citizens this way who never get anything back for their money, and a number of states are investigating companies of this type. Right now, there are 2 Albuquerque men, each of whom has a garage full of firefighting equipment. Each was promised sole distributorship of the products. This was not true, and each have lost about $5,000 on the deal. Back to International Whirlpool. Trade practice consultant M.J. Lohr reports that his files indicate that International Whirlpool deliberately tries to confuse customers. Also, the same people running this company have founded 3 other quick buck operations which lasted from 6 months to 2 years before folding. So beware of this whole deal. And if you have any doubts, call the Better Business Bureau or your attorney, and don't ever sign anything until you've done some checking. Now on to something else. Excuse me. Remember last week I reported on this abandoned house located next door to an elderly lady? The house had caught on fire twice and was a hangout for bums and winos. I reported the situation to the city, and they ordered the owner to tear it down within 10 days. Well, Saturday morning, a few of us began destroying this house, and incidentally, it was quite a bit of fun. The owner said he didn't have the means to do the job himself, so United Rent-All was kind enough to supply us free of charge with all the tools necessary, and the neighborhood is now a little safer for the 82-year-old Mrs. Garcia. And finally, beginning a week from Monday, this time period will be devoted to our viewers' mail. You will have a chance to speak out on issues of the day, programs that we have presented in the past, or anything you feel of importance to the community. Again, just write on your behalf, Koat-Tv, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Simeon Smith, House Wrecker. The media is getting a close examination in Santa Fe this weekend. More on that after we pause for this.
Enchanted Home Furniture's entire warehouse of quality furniture is being liquidated. That's right, Enchanted Homes Furniture is quitting business. Their entire stock of name brand furniture is reduced 20 to 50% for liquidation. Yes, 20 to 50% off on value brands like Flex Steel, Broyhill, and Bassett. Tremendous reductions on famous brand Sealy bedding, the most famous bedding of them all reduced, some as low as $49 a piece. This is a once-in-a-lifetime Sealy bedding sale. There are recliners, $69 till sold out. Dining room and dinette sets, bar stools, and bars. Lamps all 50% off. Pictures and paintings, some hand-painted on canvas, 40% off. So hurry to Enchanted Homes Furniture. Everything must go in this giant going-out-of-business sale. Open tomorrow, 10 a.m. through Sunday till sold out. That's Enchanted Homes Furniture, Manal and Wandabo Northeast, opposite Foothills Shopping Center.
When you go that extra mile to quality Pontiac.
Would you buy a 1975 Pontiac for 99 cents over invoice? Then select one of these 1975 executive-driven cars from Quality Pontiac. Choose from Firebirds, Venturas, Le Mans, Catalinas. All are low mileage and equipped with air conditioning, power steering, power disc brakes, plus radial tires with a 12-month or 12,000-mile warranty. So see the quality guys now at Quality Pontiac, 1300 Lomas Northeast.
I like the challenge of playing tennis. The rules are set, yet each player projects his individual style. That's true in my line of clothes as well. Details like this top stitching make this denim suit something special to me. The fabric is Dacron polyester by Klopman, and the price is pretty comfortable too. I think you'll agree, it's the extra touches that add up to great style in anything.
See the spring collection of Johnny Carson clothing at Stromberg's.
The first ever New Mexico Media Conference got underway today in Santa Fe and will continue through the weekend up there. Invitations to the four-day get-together were extended to most people working in all forms of communications throughout New Mexico. It's also open to the general public. As with most conferences, a good portion of the time at this one will be spent not only examining the new tools that are being used in communications, but also hearing about new ideas. Conference sponsors, UNM's Art Education Department and the New Mexico Media Group, have invited speakers who will hopefully give a view of communications problems and suggest ways of solving those problems. Today is one of the most holy days in the Christian religion, Good Friday. In northern New Mexico, there is a traditional way that Good Friday is remembered, and this year was no exception. Jill Marin has more.
The Mexico Good Friday tradition was relived once again today as people from all over the state made a pilgrimage on foot to El Santuario de Chimayo. Many people walked miles and miles to visit the church, which by legend is said to have healing powers in a small dirt well within the church. During the Holy Week before Easter, the church will receive thousands of visitors, and we asked some people why they come to this spot.
Well, it makes me feel good. It helps me believe.
Some traditions die over the years, but the pilgrimage to this tiny church in Chimayo is as alive as ever, and it's something that makes the cultures of New Mexico unique. The beginnings of the tradition are clouded in history, but the faith that keeps it alive seems to never change. Jill Marin, Action 7 News, Chimayo.
Howard, what's the Easter weekend weather like? I hate to put you on the spot.
Well, let me, of course, it's going to be cold, but I want to point out one thing. Sunrise, the table we give on the air is what we call the official table, and I believe sunrise Easter morning will be at 6:57. That is 3 minutes till 7. But as most people note, since we have mountains to the east, the apparent or observed sunrise will be a few minutes later. As a matter of fact, it will be about 7:06.
We have an artificially high horizon here.
Right, yeah. So about 7:06 is when you'll actually see the sun come up, and it will be very, very, very cold. As a matter of fact, that cold air has dominated all of the entire midsection of the nation for the past few days, with 20s and 30s for afternoon highs all the way to the Canadian border down into New Mexico. And that storm system that developed down toward the south has produced snow for the most part all day long from Silver City up through the south and east with blowing snow. Additional heavy snow can be expected before it finally weakens or at least moves on toward the east. Now, behind it is a partial clearing trend, but it'll be a couple of days before it really clears. Meanwhile, those widespread thunderstorms and rains continue all the way through the Gulf coastal area, lower Mississippi Valley, and up into the Ohio Valley area. And that blizzard condition that was noted in the news, of course, with those very strong winds, has now finally weakened and is slowly moving up into Canada. But there's still enough snow left there. The snow is particularly heavy, again, to the Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Michigan area with those strong winds. Of course, it is no longer a blizzard, but the snows will continue, and the cold air will continue. It'll kind of taper off by tomorrow. And I'll be back with the story here in just a moment.
AccuWeather is brought to you tonight by Gallus on Central, where you buy your car in a relaxed, common-sense way, the way people would like to buy cars. We call it the pleasant way.
At Gallus on Central, 3 weeks before the manufacturers announced their rebates, we made the following announcement.
It's about time somebody did something about car prices, and we're going to lead the way by announcing a major breakthrough.
Tonight, we're going to announce another breakthrough on 3 of the most popular Oldsmobiles of all time, Delta 88, 98, and Toronado. But first, let me tell you something special about these cars. 98 finished first in gas mileage of any car in its class in interstate driving, and Toronado got 16 miles per gallon. Delta Royale finished first in its class for city driving. Now here's the price breakthrough. This weekend on any 88, 98, or Toronado you pick out, we'll give you a special discount of $800 to $1,300 in addition to the cash value of your car, and then in addition a $300 cash rebate as a separate check. Whether you choose an 88, 98, or Toronado, it's nice to have an Olds around you, and it's nice to buy one while you can get a special price breakthrough tomorrow at Galison Central.
There is a difference in furniture from Mexico. Most people agree that the finest quality is at Black Rock Galleries. You know what the problem is? Everyone seems to think that because this furniture is the best, and because they give a year guarantee, that it's expensive. The combination of price and quality of this furniture is unmatched anywhere. You'll pay this and more for unfinished furniture. The price of this table is only $237. Just come in and see for yourself. By the way, this bench is only $29.
Well, the snows continue in the southern portion of the state all the way from Silver City over in the Ruidoso area, getting heavy snows now. This will continue along with the strong winds through tonight all the way through the south and then give way to just snow showers through tomorrow. All areas will be very cold, freezing temperatures tonight, cold again tomorrow, and then generally central and north it'll be kind of a partial clearing trend to be, well, we'll call it partly cloudy through tomorrow, continued cool, and then by Sunday should be mostly fair and slightly warmer. Cortez, Durango area with a 10 tonight, tomorrow cold 37 and partly cloudy at Farmington, 12 tonight, tomorrow 38, and for the west central area, partly cloudy again there, but cold tonight. Windy Rock and Gallup 10, Grants 8, 30s for their highs tomorrow. A little bit warmer toward the south, Socorro and TRC into the 20s, and their highs generally in the 40s. Under, mostly partly cloudy skies through tomorrow. From there on south, still snow through tonight from Silver City south and eastward. Silver City by tomorrow, 40, 48 Lordsburg and Deming, and this area will still have snow showers through tomorrow. And still snow down through Alamogordo and Las Cruces area. They've had rain off and on at Deming and Alamogordo today. 40s and 50s tomorrow, showery through tomorrow. Ruidoso possibly getting more heavy snows yet tonight with a 12, tomorrow 32, and snow showers lingering through tomorrow, south and east. Continued snow through tonight and snow showers tomorrow in the cloudy skies and 40s for highs, so cool there. Eastern Plains area, cloudy and cool with teens and 20s tonight, 40s tomorrow. Santa Fe 15, 0 at Taos, so cold up toward the north, and 20s and 30s for highs, 38 Las Vegas. Partly cloudy tomorrow, slight chance for snow showers still in the mountain areas. Raton 36 with a cold 4 tonight, 3 at Alamos and 32 there. And again, snow flurries, mountain regions. So north and west, partly cloudy and just, well, cool, slightly warmer. The southern half still getting the snow tonight and still snow showers through tomorrow. Here in Albuquerque, the AccuWeather is cloudy with a temperature of 33 degrees. Wind from the east at 14 miles per hour, relative humidity 61%, pressure rising, and the high today got up to 44. Well, tonight, still partly cloudy and pretty cold with a low in the valley near 23, Sunport 26. And then for tomorrow on Saturday, few clouds, a little bit of sun, tomorrow being partly cloudy. And, well, the high tomorrow, this is kind of optimistic, I believe. It approaches 50. It'll be in the low side of 50, so partly cloudy and just slightly warmer tomorrow. Cold, freezing temperatures tonight. Sunday, mostly fair and just a little bit warmer.
The rabbit doesn't look like he's too happy about that forecast.
That's because he's looking around for frozen eggs.
Sunday afternoon will be nice for him.
Yes, it'll be a little warmer then by 1 or 2 degrees. As a matter of fact, the 5-day forecast will be partly cloudy through Saturday, and we've got an optimistic 50 there. Sunday, it should be fair, though, and somewhat warmer. Monday and Tuesday, fair and a little bit warmer. Wednesday, increasing clouds. Okay, Dick.
Thank you, Howard. Finally, tonight, for those of you who think you've seen just about everything, you probably have not seen what we are about to show you next. We're about to show you a Chattanooga, Tennessee dog named Brutus, who works full-time as a gas station attendant.
A 10-month-old Doberman Pinscher who's out to prove there's more to being a dog than just scratching for fleas. Believe it or not, Brutus earns his keep by working regular hours as a service station attendant. Decked out in a Union 76 shirt and cap, complete with a tire gauge, Brutus astounds customers by collecting their money and returning with their change. What are your feelings on being waited on by a dog?
Oh, I don't know.
You ever had an experience like this before?
Well, I haven't.
Did it frighten you?
No.
Would you come back?
Yes.
Brutus's owner, Walter McNamara, admits that Brutus has a lot to learn about engines and tire changes. But for a 10-month-old pup, he says he's satisfied with the dog's progress. When asked how he feels about working for a living, Brutus said,
That's a boy.
He's coming to New Mexico to open up his own mechanic shop. That's Action News at 10. I'm Dick Knipfing. From all of us to all of you, have a good weekend.
Stay tuned. The Virginian is next on TV 7. Rich Ford Sales, where volume is the reason for their low prices. The First National Bank in Albuquerque at the First People Come First. And Galison Central have brought you Action News at 10 from TV 7, the Action News station, New Mexico's #1 source for news, weather, and sports.